So my name is John Poblador. I'm one of the art teachers here at school. This is my 4th year at NCPA, and I teach drawing and painting, grade 9 and AP Studio Art, and this is my 10th year as a teacher. I guess in high school I knew I wanted to do something that's art related. After being exposed to painting and drawing, I realized that I wanted to be an artist, and so I decided to become a painting major. And after that, I went to graduate school. You know, scientists, try to understand the world by, doing experiments and all these things. And in some ways, artists do the same thing. They try to understand the world in their own way. Right now, I have 3 galleries that I work with. One of them is Larry Becker Contemporary Art in Philadelphia. The other one is Gebert Contemporary in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then another one called Gallery Coup, which is in Hong Kong. It was sort of like a natural path from making art to teaching art, because for one thing, it's something that I love. And when I am talking about my artwork anyway, I still educate people about what I'm trying to do and what art is, the purpose of art and things like that. And so I think teaching was always been part of the master plan, so to speak. And so I went back to school to get teaching certification. That took about 1.5 years. I moved to Glendale, Arizona, and I was teaching kindergarten to grade 3. I never really had an opportunity so much to travel, but at some point, this was a few years ago, I went to visit Paris for the first time. And I realized that I have to get out of the States and just to kind of experience stuff more and be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing, right? Because you're really experiencing something new and you have no idea how to react to it. So I decided to start applying to international schools. I applied here. I got an email from Dr. Moore, who was a director back then, and that I went to see them in Boston, because I already signed up to go anyway at the job fair. And I signed my contract. And so July 2014, I moved here. I sold my car. I got rid of most of my possessions, and rented out my condo and brought my dog here to China. If somebody's applying to be a teacher at an international school in a foreign country, I think it's important to be flexible and to be adaptable. It's easier for me, mainly because I paint and I prefer to stay in my apartment anyway and do my work. So that's why I live here on campus. After school, I go home, I relax a little bit, I walk my dog. Before you know it, it's dinner time, and maybe I can get in like an hour or 2 of studio work in there. I've been forcing myself to be more strict with my Chinese lessons, so I've been trying to do that 30 to 45 minutes a night, just kind of doing vocabulary stuff. I think being in the classroom and interacting with students is where my joy comes in teaching. Because in some ways, even though I understand, differentiation and lesson planning and formative and summative assessments and all these things about teaching, it's when you're in the classroom and you are interacting with your students, and that's where you kind of get lost in a way. And I will tie that into painting in a way. When you're in the studio and everything's good, time kind of disappears. And it's the same thing with teaching. When you're in that zone and the lesson's going well and your students are getting it, but you don't know how they managed to understand it. It just so happened. It's like, and when they leave, you just feel this sense of accomplishment. I think that's where the kind of like joy comes in,